Final session. Thank you for being so prompt. First thing we're going to do is the prize draw. Thousands of euros worth of prizes, I understand. So could I ask Silvana and Eva to come to the stage and make the prize draw.
Hi, everybody. Before the last session, we have the most exciting part for me, of course, because I love prizes. And what we're going to do is just pick somebody from here. And the first prize would be from our sponsors at the International Hotel, Casino and Tower Suites. It's a free 2-day use of the 380-seated amphitheater hall for events at the International Hotel and Casino Tower Suites in Golden Sands, which is one of our greatest resorts. So whoever wins that will be very happy. The official cost of the service is €1,000 with full technical equipment also included in the price. So it will go to this one. Ah, it's not a card. Is it a card? It's the Media Cafe. Oh, I know these guys. Okay, so is there anybody here from the Media Cafe? Yay, hi. What I need to tell you about them is how I know them. They just published, they were the first to publish the press release about last night's Eventex Awards winners. Thank you, and enjoy your award. Just shoot us an email and we'll explain everything after. Thank you. Okay. Next, we have a dinner or lunch. It's actually a voucher for 100 leva, which is €50, at Two Candles Restaurant. Some of you may know it, some of you may don't, but it's a gorgeous restaurant in Sofia downtown. And they did the catering for us last night at Eventex Awards. So let's see who will get this delicious, delicious cuisine. This will be Alex Momchev from Miramar. Thank you. Congratulations, Alex. Enjoy. And you will contact the restaurant for details.
I will.
Okay, thank you. Do you know who did our bags for Eventex? I hope you liked them. They're swag bag, and they are giving a lot of prizes, as I can see here. And they're advertising, no, I'm sorry. They are stationery. And what else? A t-shirt. And oops. Well, I'm not telling what else. You'll find out. So, this will go to Nevelina Kartalova from BGB Active. Is she here? Congratulations and on your prize last night. All the best. Enjoy. Okay, we have 4 more prizes. Our next prize is from our American friends at Boomset, and it's check-in services for 500 guests worth €1,000 for event guest list application Boomset. Let's see who will be the lucky one. I can see. Okay, it's Laura Dimitrova, PR and Communication Specialist at SAP Labs, Bulgaria. Laura? Are you here? Nope, she's not here. Okay, we'll keep that for her. Next is the Metro Reklama, and I'd like to ask Didi Majarova to come on stage and present the awards. It's €1,000 worth of media cost. Did he?
Dario Garvivic.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Congratulations. Well deserved.
Thank you.
You're going to put that to good use. Okay. Okay. Now we have a delicious gift. And it goes to Galera Libris Milena Diankova. This is from Rosemark, and they do delicious, delicious things from Bulgarian roses. This is jam and a tea bouquet. Enjoy. And the last prize and the biggest one is from our kind sponsors from Guidebook. You know them already, they're awesome. And it's Premium Event Guide worth, are you ready? €3,100. So it will go to PGB Active. It's Laska Nenova. Congratulations. Laska is going to do her next event, which is a winner, Best Cause Event 2014 in our awards last night. And it's great, I'm telling you. She's going to do it with Guidebook next year. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, that was all, guys. Enjoy your last session with the great, great Jeremy Nicholas.
Thank you very much indeed. Right, you're in for a treat now. You're in for a real treat. Our final speaker, he's an award-winning TV and radio broadcaster from London, worked for the BBC since 1987. He's commentated on Wembley Cup finals, the Paralympics, and he is the voice of the global best-selling game FIFA 15. Alongside his broadcast career, he's worked in the events industry for the last 20 years as an MC, awards host, and after-dinner speaker. Today, he's going to give us some tips on how to get massive publicity for your event through coverage in the mainstream media. And with a foot in both camps, he'll share his best and worst experiences of what happens when the event industry meets the media world. Please welcome my very good friend, Jeremy Nicholas.
Hello. Thanks for all staying for the last session. I know you probably want to go and get ready for a party or something, so thank you very much for staying. This is what I actually look like in real life, but my head's not quite as big as that, but I can do the pointing. But this is what I really look like. But there's no point showing you that because I'm here. So this talk's all going to be about publicity. Who would like to be able to attract more publicity for their events? Of course we would, we all would. But I've just noticed that all the speakers here all do that just to see who can get how many hands to go up. It's almost like a yoga workout. So I have a company called Talking Toolbox, where I teach speakers to be more entertaining and more engaging. And I started in the events world in 1994, but before that, about 8 years before that, I started broadcasting. And mainly, people around the world know me as a football and athletics commentator, sports presenter. This is me at the Olympic Stadium, where I've been commentating at the Paralympic Games. So I'd like to start with a little story. And I always like to just put the screen to black in the story so that you can concentrate on me. So there's no pictures to look at. Now, I know young people find that very hard. Very short attention spans. It's just a man on a stage. I'm going to tell you a story because James, the previous speaker, was saying stories are the important thing. So I used to cover a region in England called the East Midlands. I used to cover all the football for the BBC, and there were two big football teams, Nottingham Forest and Derby County, and then there were lots of very small football teams that never got any coverage at all, and one of them was called Eastwood Town. So a non-professional team, tiny team, they would perhaps have 100 people come to their matches, instead of Derby and Nottingham Forest that would have 30,000 come to their matches. And I was sent by the BBC to report on Eastwood Town because they got through to the 3rd round of the FA Cup, the most prestigious football tournament in England. So it was amazing that this small team had got so far. So I went to film them for the BBC and I interviewed the players and they were all doing their stretches and practice and training and everything. We filmed all that and I interviewed the captain and the manager. And then eventually this man said to me, "Oh, you've come, have you? BBC's come, yeah. I thought you'd be here. Where have you been the last 20 years? We haven't seen you there. We haven't seen you for the last 20 years. Where have you been?" And I said, "Well, we're here now." He said, "Yeah, but you're always Nottingham Forest this and Derby County. You never mention Eastwood." And I said, "Oh, who are you?" He said, "I'm the press officer." He was the press officer. And I said, "I've never heard of you. I've never spoken to you. I've been in this job for 8 years. I have never had a conversation with you. Why haven't you rung us up?" "Oh, I knew you wouldn't be interested because you're always on about Nottingham Forest, Derby County. I knew you wouldn't be interested in us." I said, "Well, we don't know if we're interested in you if we don't contact us. Have you ever sent us a press release?" "No, because I didn't think you'd be interested." "Okay. Have you ever rung us up?" "No." And I said, "Well, in those 8 years that you've been the press officer and I've been the reporter for the BBC, has anything interesting ever happened?" "Oh, yeah, we've had loads of things. We have big community events. We've had football festivals here." And I said, "Why didn't you tell us? We would have come to your event." "Well, I didn't think you'd be interested because you just like Nottingham Forest, Derby County." So I felt like I was going around in a bit of a loop. So I want you to have a think now. This is a bit interactive. If you could speak to someone from the television about an event that you've got coming up or that you've just done, what would you say? If they were let's pretend they're the person sat next to you. Turn to the person sat next to you and say, "This is what is brilliant about my next event." And then get them to say what's brilliant about their next event. Okay? 1 minute. Go. Talk to each other. What's brilliant about your next event? Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Have you had a chance to do it both ways? Has the other person had a chance to say? Okay, 10 more seconds. The other person just finish off. What would you say? Okay, that'll do. Thank you very much. Now, if this was interactive, I would have a microphone, I would come into the audience and I'd find out what it is you'd like to say. But no, it's all right, Linda. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because I only care about Nottingham Forest and Derby County. Thank you. You've been a lovely audience, Sophia. Thank you very much. Good night. Always leave them laughing. Right, okay. So I want you to shout out if you know where the next picture was taken. I want the name of the city and I want the name of the attraction, monument, whatever it is, okay? Shout it out as soon as you know. Okay. Obviously that's still me. That's not the monument or the attraction, okay? Where's this? Sofia. What's it called? Alexander something. Absolutely. It's the Church of Alexander. Is it Nevsky? Nevsky, yeah. That is the Church of Alexander Nevsky. I took that picture on Tuesday when I arrived in Sofia because I did the free Sofia tour. Has anyone done the free Sofia tour? Hands up if you have. Yeah. They're trying to raise enough money to free Sofia. She's a woman in imprisonment. And no, that's not it. It's a really good tour. Do you know what the number one tour on TripAdvisor is for Sofia? Free Sofia, yeah. Am I saying it wrong? Oh, you're saying Sofia and I'm saying Sofia. It's Sofia, is it? Sofia, okay. I'll come on again. So on Tuesday, I went to the free Sofia tour. Thank you. And the reason I knew about it was because it was the #1 tourist attraction on TripAdvisor. A free tour, how can that be? How did I know about it? Because my friend Alan, who's the MC, was here last month. He did the free Sofia tour. Was it good, Alan? Fantastic. It was fantastic, yeah. He was taller than some of the monuments. Very tall man. My friend Andy Lapata came to Sofia last year. He went on it. I'm having to work really hard on remembering to say Sofia. And he loved it as well. It's great. If you're here for the next few days, if you're not from Sofia, go on that tour. It doesn't cost you anything. It's 2 hours. They tell you all about everything, all the attractions and everything. And at the end, you just tip your guide. And it's brilliant. And my wife, who's sat right there, hello, nice to see you. Don't applaud her. She's had enough of her time here. She liked it so much, she went on the free food tour, where you go into all the restaurants and sample little bits of food. I think she even went in some restaurants that weren't on the tour and just started eating and was asked to leave. But if you want to go on that free tour, it's every day at 11 and 6, 365 days a year. They did one, they told me, in minus 15 degrees the other day. But, do wear gloves if it's cold. And I tell you, it sets off from the place where the 2 lions are. Is it on the Palace of something? Palace of Justice. That's right. Palace of Justice, where they're trying to get Sofia freed. There's the 2 lions, and you meet by the left lion. Let's move on, okay. The point of that is, if I liked the tour so much and I took a picture and I started tweeting about it, that's good publicity for that tour, isn't it? It's fantastic publicity. Okay. So this is me at the UK Business Speaker of the Year 2012 with my getting my prize. That's a quick picture that was taken by a friend in the audience with a camera. I always think, always have a friend in the audience. If you any kind of award is good publicity, have someone there, because then afterwards you try and get the picture off the organizer, it takes forever. Always have a mate with a camera. Eventually, when you do get the picture, there's the official one that came out. That's much better. And the great thing is, what you can't see is just on that little bit there, you probably can't read that, it says runner-up. But no one can see that because it's big writing there, UK Business Speaker of the Year, runner-up. So I got the silver, not the gold. That was yesterday here. Alan's my mate, so I took a picture in the audience, tweeted on Twitter and Facebook. Alan's doing a great job being the MC at Eventex. That goes to all my followers. He puts it to all his followers. And then people start thinking maybe he is a good MC. He's not. But they think he will. And my friend here from Turkey, he'll be thinking, I'll book Alan. Because Jeremy put the picture up. Although you won't book him because you've actually here, so you've seen him. So I'm a great believer in instant pictures, tweeting them for publicity at your events. Who was here yesterday? Okay. See if you're in this picture. There's Alex, our American speaker from Baltimore. Where are you, Alex? Is he in the room? There he is at the back, yeah. You're really into that, mate, aren't you? Look at that. You're doing well. I met that lady, that's Letitia from London. Is she here? Yeah. So get loads and loads of pictures. I was taking loads of pictures last night. At the award show, brilliant, fire people. I thought that was brilliant, although it wasn't my favourite act. This was my favourite act. I don't know why, but those pictures go around the world. If I'm sat in the front row and I think, oh, this is good, people think, I might go to Sofia. The girls look nice. Does everyone know what this is? These are massive in London. I don't know if they are here. A selfie stick. Do you know about selfie sticks? So, you get your camera or your phone, you stick it on the end of your selfie stick like this. Fits all sizes. I have an iPhone, but if you have to slum it with a Samsung, then that's fine. Well, I beg your pardon, Merlis. I heard you having a go at Apple earlier. Right, so you put it on your selfie stick like that, and you can take a picture. And if there's a few people in the picture, just extend it out a bit. And if there's lots of people in your picture, then you want it really big. Like that. More attractive the people are, the longer the stick is. So that's like that. Okay. Easy. So selfie sticks are brilliant, and get the one with the little Bluetooth shutter release, so it links with your phone, so it pairs like that, and then you put it on the camera and go, loads of pictures, Twitter, Facebook, bang, bang, fantastic publicity. What, and then try and get it up there? I'm a broadcaster, I'm not a techie. Okay, I'll do one now. Oh dear, this is going to... Yeah. Where are you from? Portugal, is it? Yeah. Do we have extra... I don't really need a techie. I just wondered if we had an extradition treaty with Portugal. No. Okay. All right, so let's get a shot here. We'll make it nice and big so that everyone can be in the picture. Okay, is that going to work? Right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Hey! Okay, I don't know if it's done it. It's still pairing. While it's flashing, it's still pairing. Right, okay, ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hey! Lovely! Thank you very much. I'll stick that on Facebook later. On Facebook, my name is Jeremy Nicholas. Unless you're from the tax office, in which case it's Sylvia Swinton. So, right, so let's have a look at the one I just took. Oh, it's not the one I just took, but it's the same one. That's Eva, who did the... you're up there, Eva, there? My wife, and a man. Who's that man? I can't remember who that man is. Yeah, an award-winning man. Can't remember who he is. Is he here? Probably doesn't matter then. Right, so I host lots of events. I mean, my first ever event I hosted in 1994 was on the QE2, the cruise ship. This is an event I hosted last year. Everyone in the audience looking very happy. You probably can't guess what that is. It's actually the Good Funeral Awards. Good Funeral Awards, I was the host of that. No, don't laugh, it was a very grave matter. It was one of those events where I thought, I hope I don't die on stage. It's the Good Funeral Awards. All of the presenters got given mugs, Good Funeral Awards. So, of course, we all took pictures of ourselves with the mugs. Suddenly, everyone's cameras are out. They can't believe it. The Good Funeral Awards. So, there was... I did a few jokes about dying. And they liked them. There was one about Grave Digger of the Year was one of the categories. Grave Digger of the Year was a category. Where do they dig them up? I don't know. This was another thing. This was alternative hearse to carry a coffin. It was won by a motorcycle company where you put your coffin in a sidecar. And I wonder if that's something that they have to rehearse. I don't know. But it's motorcycle funerals. And I always think, get some pictures of these people. You know, the Good Funeral Awards. When are you going to be at that? These are the motorcycle people that won it. They're the couple that run the company. She rides the motorbike. I don't know if he goes in the coffin. We don't know. And do you know what the name of the event company is that does the Good Funeral Awards? Okay, bearing in mind it's all about coffins, this is the name of the company. Out of the box. How scary is that? So if I see anything like that, I take a picture. So the big message so far, I know you're thinking so far it's just been a slideshow. It's like I've come round your house and you're showing me your slides. The message is take lots of pictures. Everyone talks about social media and all the different ways of carrying the message, and people don't think about the message. And people are very visual. Give them something to retweet. Give them something to put on Facebook and LinkedIn and all of those other things. Here's a picture I took last night. Well, actually, I didn't take it. Somebody did. Did you? I think Jeanette took it. Yeah, well done. Wow. Yeah. And that's me and Alan Stevens at the Eventex Awards. It's good for us because it makes us look big and tough because we're abroad. We're not just UK speakers. We're abroad. We're in Bulgaria. It's great. Eva loves it because she's got 2 fantastic big-name London speakers. Yeah, you can have it. Honestly, discuss the fee with Alan. I was thinking probably £20. So get pictures everywhere you go. Now, this picture is okay, but the event was called I Can, and we're standing in front of the I. So it looks like it just says can. So it might be an event for the canned food industries, how to put beans in a can. A better one is this one, for Unique Speaker Bureau, because it looks like I'm saying USB. And they've designed their pull-up boards, or the I don't know what you call them. What do you call those things? What are they? Backdrops. You know, you're Portuguese, but you speak better English than me. Backdrops, yeah. It looks like I'm saying USB, so that's a much better picture, apart from she looks a bit scared. Has anyone heard of this game? Put your hands up if you have ever played any of the FIFA video games. Okay, so thank you very much. Since FIFA 06, I have been the voice of the FIFA video game across the world. This guy's shaking his head, he can't believe it. It's like he's met Ronaldo. I can't believe I've met the voice of a video game. Oh. You won't sleep tonight, will you? No. He's tweeting it already. I've met the voice of a video game. So, whenever I'm speaking at an event, as a little bit of a publicity thing, I say to people, who's got friends that play this game? If you want, come up to me afterwards with your phone, put it on video, and, well, let's just do it with this guy here. What's your name, sir? Yeah, Tiago. Oh, I interviewed you. You're from Brazil, aren't you? And yeah, and who's your favourite football team?
You mean from Brazil?
Yeah. Fluminense. Fluminense? Yeah, really well. So in your name, I can see from your badge is Tiago Ferreira, and your team's Fluminense. So as a thing at events, I always say, I speak a lot at sporting dinners, and I say, come up with your, are you filming this now?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So I say, hi, I'm Jeremy Nicholas, I'm the voice of FIFA, I'll do it again. This is not even a microphone, it's a clicker. Hi, I'm Jeremy Nicholas, voice of FIFA 15, and I have a special announcement of a goal for Fluminense scored by Tiago Ferreira! Now, that's just a silly little thing that I do, but, you know, lots of people have children that play that game. You know, Tiago's kind of a kid, but lots of children play the game. I do that for people at events. Their kids go into school and do it as part of a show and tell, you know, look, this is what the man on FIFA has done for me. It's a great way of spreading the word of who I am. Think of things like that in your organisation. What would people really love that could get your message around the world? And sometimes you're known for things and you don't especially want to be known for that. I don't particularly want to be known as the voice of a FIFA video game. For 16 years, in real life, not on a silly video game played by Brazilians, in real life, I was the stadium announcer at West Ham United, the 4th best football team in London. Yeah. For 16 years, I was the stadium announcer. So I announced all the goals in real life, not in a silly game played by Tiago and his friends. In real life, I did it at a football ground. And one time I came out of the players' entrance, and there were children there with autograph books, and a little boy said to me, "Excuse me, are you anybody?" And I said, "Well, I'm not a player, I'm the stadium announcer, but I'll sign your book for you." And he said, "No, you're all right," and closed his book up. 2 weeks later, I was at Grassroots Football, a big exhibition in Birmingham at the National Exhibition Centre. I was on a football panel with a former England captain, Gary Lineker, a former England manager, Graham Taylor, a former Arsenal striker, Alan Smith, and me, and I signed more autographs than anybody. And Gary Lineker, former England captain, now a BBC TV presenter, says, "Jeremy, who do they think you are?" I said, "I'm the voice of FIFA, Gary." He scored more goals for England than anyone else. I signed more autographs because I'm the voice of FIFA. But in real life, no one cares. Just on a silly game. But I'm not bitter. Sometimes it's not what you're known for. You know, you might not choose what you're known for, but if it's good publicity, then use it. Has anyone heard of an actor, a film actor called Christopher Lee? Christopher Lee. So he played one part in a lot of films. What was that part? He was Dracula. He was Dracula in 13 different films. And he came in to be interviewed on my radio show when I used to do the afternoon show on BBC London. And I kept asking him about Dracula, but he wanted to talk about his new film, which was Lord of the Rings, the first Lord of the Rings film, where he was Lord Sauron, who was the dark wizard who did the battle with Gandalf up in the tower. Do you remember that? That was Christopher Lee. But everyone knew him as Dracula, so I kept talking about Dracula, and he was getting a bit annoyed because I wasn't talking about Lord of the Rings, which is what he wanted to publicise. But hey, this is the important message you need to get. Journalists decide what they want to ask. You can't say, I only want to do this. And if you have been Dracula in lots of films, then journalists will talk to you about Dracula. And I said, now you're famous, Christopher Lee, of course, for being Dracula. And he said, no, I'm not famous for being Dracula. I'm famous for being an actor. I've played many, many roles. And I said, yes, and one of them is Dracula. And he said, well, it's just one of the roles I've played. I've played many. I said, yes, and you've been Dracula in 13 different Dracula films. Yes, but I'm here to talk about Lord of the Rings. Anyway, so I talked to him about Lord of the Rings, but then my producer in the other room behind the glass starts typing up on the little screen where the producer will suggest questions saying, ask him more questions about Dracula. It's very funny when he gets angry. So I asked him a few more questions about Dracula, and he started getting angrier and angrier. And so I went to Lord of the Rings again. But the producer starts writing up, people are ringing in saying more Dracula questions. It's funny when he gets annoyed. And I thought, well, it's funny for you because you're safe behind that glass. I'm in here with Christopher Lee, and he looks just like Dracula, the vampire. And I have no crucifix and no garlic. So I asked him more Dracula stuff, and he really wasn't very happy. And at the end of the interview, I put on a CD. The music was playing. I went round to say goodbye to him. I said, thank you very much, Christopher Lee, for coming in to do the interview. And as I shook hands, I noticed that round his side of the desk was another screen, and he was reading all of the questions as well. And he saw everything the producer had written. So actually, he was very professional just to carry on. So always remember that. You might want to talk about a certain thing, but a journalist will decide what they want to talk to you about. So think about what message you want to get across and try and steer it, like Christopher Lee did very professionally, steer it to the subject you want to talk about. But they're not in PR. PR and journalism are completely different things. And what you can do is get great publicity in the media, but they have to set the agenda. But you can steer them in the direction you want by giving them good pictures, good stories, good video, a good press release about whatever your event is about. Okay, let's do some more hands up. Hands up if you have a dog. Keep your hand up if your dog is the best dog in the world. Okay, put your hands down now. I have the best dog in the world. Okay, you're keeping your hands up. Is your dog cuter than mine? Okay, I'll show you mine. Do you have a picture of your dog? No, okay, then I'm the winner. So there's my dog. There's my dog. My dog is called Jimmy Chew because he likes chewing ladies' shoes. Chew is spelled like dog chew. Now, I, a couple of years ago, decided I was going to make a series of videos on how to be a better speaker and put them on the internet. And I did them all from my home office. And the first 2 days, I decided to do a different video every day in February. And I thought this would be a great way of attracting publicity. I'll make a video. I'll give them all away for free. How to be a better speaker. They're still there if anyone wants to see them on my website, which is jeremynicholasmyname.co.uk. They're 28 free videos on how to be a better presenter. If you want them, they're there for you. All my friends in the speaker world says, you can't just give these free videos away. You need to get people's emails and charge them money. And I said, no, let's just give it away and see what happens. So I did February the 1st, I did one. February the 2nd, I did one. Not many people watched. February the 3rd, I decided Jimmy should be in the videos. By February the 7th, thousands of people were watching them every day, and I realized that they were watching not for me, but because of the dog. The dog would sit on my lap, the dog would run around, sometimes he would yawn during the talk, sometimes he'd just go, ooh, spread out. So, to get my message around the world, I had to have a cute, white, fluffy dog. That's okay. He doesn't look like that now, he's a bit bigger now. There he is now. He's grown a bit. He was about a year old, no, probably about 2 years old in the first one, and he's about 3.5 now. Since then, I used Jimmy to attract publicity. It's a dreadful thing, but I used my dog just to advance my career, and I'm embarrassed about it, but it's what happens. He has his own Facebook page, facebook.com/JimmyChewTheDog. There he is, in his space outfit. And I can't stress enough the power of image to get publicity. So science fiction fans love that picture of Jimmy. He actually had just had an operation, so to stop him licking the stitching, they put that on him, and then to carry him back, because he was a bit dopey, we put him in there, and he just looks a bit like a robot dog. One day, my wife took Jimmy to the groomers, and when he came back, he looked a bit different. And I said, Jimmy looks a bit different. I can't quite put my finger on what it is. She said, he's got red ears. And I said, that's it, he's got red ears. Why has he got red ears? And she said, because it was only £5 more. What? I would have paid £5 for him not to have red ears. But he was quite happy about it. She sat right there in the yellow. If you want to, if anyone from Animal Cruelty is here. I wasn't very happy, so I decided to put him in the recycling. And after about 6 months, his ears gradually faded, and I got fed up with talking to people. I walk him along the River Thames in Richmond, Twickenham area, which is southwest London, and people would come up to me and say, "Oh, are his ears naturally that colour?" What? And after about a few days of this, I started lying, and I said, yes, it's a special breed called a Bichon Rouge, and they're born with very red ears, and gradually it goes to salmon pink. But yeah, that's a good way of getting publicity, interesting pictures like that. I take pictures wherever I go. This is a shop in Cape Town, sportswear shop called the Athlete's Foot. I don't know what it is here, but in England, Athlete's Foot is a disease. This is in Scotland, it's a wine shop, Planet of the Grapes, like the film with the monkeys. So that's me being the stadium announcer at West Ham in real life. One of the things we did at West Ham one time to get publicity, because we wanted to get the attendance up on some of the games that we were playing against the smaller teams, so we decided to have an attempt on the world record for blowing bubbles. Out of a bubble blower like that. West Ham's song, which we've sung since 1918, is I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. Does everyone know that song? I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high, nearly reach the sky. Then like my dreams, they fade and die. Fortune's always hiding, I've looked everywhere, I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. It's a ridiculous song because it's all about never quite winning. But it kind of fits us, because we never quite win. So West Ham decided to have this bubble-blowing world record. These are the bubbles, and 35,000 people blew bubbles, and it was a world record, and it got in all the papers. Another good way of getting publicity is to have some kind of mascot, some kind of icon. So, you know, if you have an event, have you got something that people can take a picture of? So this is mainly for the kids. This is the West Ham mascot. He's called Hammerhead because his head is the shape of a hammer. And West Ham were the team of the shipbuilding on the River Thames. So these crossed hammers on there are the riveting hammers for putting the iron on ships. So another good way to get publicity is to write a book. So that's my book. Mr. Moon Has Left the Stadium, Confessions of a Matchday Announcer. You can see I've put some bubbles on there. Took me 9 months to write it. By the end of it, I needed to wear glasses because I've been working so hard on my computer. So stupidly, by the time I did the book signing, I don't look like the person on the book. So do be consistent in your publicity. That was a ridiculous thing I did. Picture of me on the and then I don't look like that anymore. But what you can do that's great is collaborate with other people. So when I said about taking a picture of Alan and he would take a picture of me, that's great collaboration. This guy here, he wrote another book about West Ham. We did a combined book tour. And he's the biggest blogger about West Ham. So I got loads of great publicity off him. He got great publicity off me because I'm on the telly and I was the stadium announcer at the time. So think who you can partner up with, that they'll talk about you, you talk about them. Another thing I did was I said to anyone that bought my book, please send me a picture of you from wherever you're reading my book in the world, and I'll put it on the website. And people love that sort of stuff. So this guy is reading it at a stadium in Hull in the north of England. Another picture from around the world of the book, and yet another one. Where's that? Yeah. And he's either got very big hands or that's a long way away. And then people started to say, West Ham fans across the world, because one good thing that you can do is get fans of your business to be your publicity machine. You don't have to spend a fortune on publicity with PR. Get fans of your business to do it for you. So people started saying to me, that I really liked your book, Jeremy, so I've started going into bookshops, and I get your book where it's turned sideways on, and I put it frontways on in front of a book that I don't like. So the big bookshop in the UK is called Waterstones, and there's a massive shop in Manchester in the north of England, big Waterstones. And there was a footballer for Manchester United called Gary Neville who had written his autobiography, and Jose Mourinho, the Chelsea manager, had written his autobiography. And because my name is Nicholas, so it's between Mourinho and Neville, or next to them, people would go in and put them either in Manchester, they'd put them in front of Gary Neville, in London they'd put them in front of Jose Mourinho. So and they'd send me the pictures. Here we are, on their phones, and they would, you can see where that should be there, look, and someone's just got it, put it there. And Gary Neville's people have probably paid a massive amount of money to because you pay in bookshops to have your book turned out like that. So create raving fans. This is a big BBC event every year, which I've hosted the stage for the last 10 years. The Big Yellow Bear, it's a charity appeal. It's called Children in Need, and it raises millions for children every year. And it's got a great symbol, the yellow cuddly bear, and he has an eye patch on, a handkerchief wrapped around his eye, because the idea is that he is in hospital and the children need help, so he needs help. And we've been raising money for about 60 years, and he still hasn't had that eye fixed. So every year, when you see that big yellow bear, you know it's Children in Need. It's always in November, and celebrities will do anything for that yellow bear. Celebrities never charge anything for Children in Need because they've grown up with this yellow bear. Everyone knows he's called Pudsey. Here's a picture of me the next year. So this is probably about 5 years ago. I'm going to show you a picture from 4 years ago. See if you can see anything different about me in this picture. Horrible, isn't it? I've got a moustache. Sort of. It might be your dog, madam, underneath my lip. We don't know. And what happens is in England, lots of men in November grow moustaches. Does that happen here? Yeah. So it's called Movember. It's a brilliant idea, and it goes all around the world, and it's to raise awareness of prostate cancer. And it's just a brilliant, brilliant thing. Is there something you can do that will publicize your event where you can say to people, can you do something? Can you all wear a certain color? Can you all, I don't know, have your arm in a sling for a day or something like that? Something that people say, why are you doing that? Oh, it's because of this that's coming up. I mean, I look dreadful with a moustache. Even the bear hates it, pointing to it. What's even cuter than a yellow bear with a bandage on? Two little babies dressed as yellow bears. Think about what pictures you can get to offer the media. How cute a picture is that? Two little twin babies dressed up like that. But I probably think that I shouldn't keep the moustache because I look a bit like Freddie Mercury. And in fact, the day I shaved it off, it was such a relief. I did it a bit at a time. Horrible, I know it's horrible. Right, what I was saying about mascots and things, give the media something to film. If a photographer comes, don't just say, oh, I want to tell you about my event, and you're in a conference room just chatting to them. They need a picture. They need something moving. So this, every year we have a mascot race for children in need. So there's Pudsey, and this is the ice hockey mascot, and this is a football mascot, and these are from a play centre, and I don't know what they are. And that's the British Heart Foundation, a heart charity. And they all dress up like that, and then we film them running. And every year we do that. And it's great telly, because they fall over, and it's hilarious. If someone came to publicise your event with a TV crew, what would they film? Because event organisers drive me mad. They always talk about the event, but they don't show you anything. Show us something. Don't tell us, show us. A number of times I turn up with a TV crew, and they say, oh, is it, and I'll say, can we do the interview outside? Oh, I thought we'd do it in my office. Who wants to see your office? Where's the event going to be? Oh, it's going to be down on the River Thames by the Houses of Parliament. Let's go there. Not in your offices miles away. Let's see something interesting that people at home will go, oh, that looks good. Now, this is me last night winning an award is the People's Choice Best Event Award. I didn't actually win it. I presented it, but the people that won it weren't there. So I've kept it, and you can use it as a stand for your iPad, so it's useful. But it's Liverpool City University. But give the media a story. You know, I put a thing out last night saying, here's me with the People's Choice Event Award. Everyone was saying, well done, brilliant. Until I got caught by Alan saying, you're not allowed to take that away. This is me and my business partner. I've just opened a chocolate shop in London. I just thought, something interesting, I'll open a chocolate shop. And I thought, how can I get publicity for the chocolate shop? So Bianca is from Budapest. She went to university in Berlin, and our shop is in Brentford, in West London. So I said to the press, to the media, we're only going to open chocolate shops in towns beginning with B. Berlin, Budapest, Brentford. They all reported it. This is one chocolate shop that's going to take over the world just in towns beginning with B. It's a funny little story. They know really that if I'm not going to not open a shop in Sofia because it's not Bofia. That's my chocolate shop. And those are my chocolates. I talked about the chocolate shop, and I got in the papers, and because I got in the papers, the local council got in touch with me and said, you're a broadcaster, and we didn't know you lived in our area. Can you come and host our 50th anniversary of the council? And I said yes. So the chocolate shop is now feeding the event industry. And then when I went to the meeting with the council and they said, we've got this big dinner, I said, do you want us to give some chocolates away for raffle prizes? Yeah, so it's feeding back to the chocolate. All of these things feed each other, create a bit of a buzz, get some publicity for your event. This is one of my favourite cities, Cape Town. And I was speaking in South Africa in 2010, and they didn't have a proper AV stage like we've got two here with these guys here sorting out all the stuff. It's all very professional in Sofia. In South Africa, it wasn't very professional. They just had a point down here where you plugged in your laptop. And just as I was about to go on, I was giving a talk on how to use humour in your business presentation. I plugged my laptop in like that, and my trousers ripped at the back. There was a split about 6 inches long. Just as the guy on the stage was saying, and now with a talk on how to use humour, please welcome from the United Kingdom, Jeremy Nicholas. And so I came out like this. Hello, I'm here today to give you the talk on humour, how to use it in your business presentation. Thank you very much, South Africa, for having me. I went backwards and forwards for 5 minutes like a space invader. Eventually, I thought I'd better just own up. And I said, now, the thing is, when you give a talk on using humour, the worst thing that can happen is you split your trousers. And they laughed. And then I said, and that has just happened. And they laughed again. And then I said, look. And they laughed again. And I got 3 laughs. I thought, this is good. It's a talk on humour. I've had 3 laughs. But at the end of the event, people were coming up to me saying, now tell me this, do you always wear those trousers for this talk? So what I did to turn that round is I'm now known in South Africa as the man who split his trousers. Turn it round, get publicity. If you're known for something, be known for that. This is one of my favourite speakers, Patricia Fripp. She's British originally, but she now is in America. She teaches lots of professional speakers. And her thing is, when you do anything, you want to be remembered, repeated, and retweeted. Remembered, repeated, retweeted. And that is so good that instantly people have started writing that down. Because it's great, isn't it? Remembered, repeated, retweeted. Is Portugal going to write it down? Yes, they are. They write, you know that stuff, Linda. Put it down. Remembered, repeated, retweeted. So what are you going to say that is memorable about your next event? What are you going to say that people are going to remember? They'll repeat it to somebody else, and maybe they'll retweet it, put it out there to the whole World Wide Web. Think about that, a little bite-sized thing. If you can think of something in 140 characters like Twitter, better still 120 so that it leaves enough space for it to be retweeted with your name. What would you say? It's a really good exercise to think about tonight. 120 characters about your event. What makes it special? It's a really good exercise. One thing that we did when Patricia Fripp came over is that we decided to give her an award. We made her a fellow of the Professional Speaking Association. Giving awards away is always a brilliant thing. Am I in this one, Tiago? No. I'm a fellow as well. I was the 42nd fellow, but Patricia's one as well. People love getting awards. It gets in your papers, doesn't it? She'll go back to America with that. That's her. Now, this is what I call my quick picture that was taken on the night, which is okay, but, well, what's he doing? You know, is he in or is he out? And they're all looking in different directions. That's the quick one that you tweet on the night saying, great news, Patricia Fripp receiving her fellowship of the Professional Speaking Association. And then you want the good one for the website. There's the good one with the two joint presidents of the Professional Speaking Association at the time, Ailey and Jane, getting excited, and Patricia looking a little bit embarrassed, like, oh, thank you, calm down. I'm American, I don't expect this. Any kind of award. There's another one. These two on the left run the Professional Speaking Association in London. The lady with the gift there was voted the new Speaker of the Year in the UK. What am I doing in there? I was her coach. I coached her, so I crashed in. I'll get a bit of the glory, I'll come in. Awards are a brilliant thing. You can give an award to anyone. If you're doing an event, just ring up someone famous saying, come to our event, we're going to give you an award. They might say, well, I'm not coming, but maybe they will come. Giving awards, it's a great way of getting publicity. I want to tell you about a little event you might have heard of, the Olympics. It's me at London 2012. I got my tickets. It's the best event I've ever worked on. I did lots of interviews for the BBC. I also got to watch a lot of brilliant events. The president of the International Olympic Committee called it happy and glorious. Now, what a good little soundbite that is, because it was a very happy games. It was glorious with all the medals, but happy and glorious is also a line from our national anthem. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, God save the Queen. So, there's me and the wife. We've gone to the Olympics. My wife is South African. Now, I just want you to see how big our flag is, the Union Jack. Now see how big her flag is. And how ridiculously excited she is by the size of the flag. So one of the things that the London Olympics did really well is it gave iconic images. For no apparent reason, this structure was built. No one knows what it is, but whenever you see it, you know where you are. Oh, that's the London Olympic Games, because it's got that thing. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called, that red twisty thing. Every city has to have a thing that at the start of a Hollywood movie, when you see the thing, if you see the Empire State Building, you go, oh, we're in New York. You see that big thing like arch, oh, we're in St. Louis. Oh, there's the Eiffel Tower, we're in Paris. Oh, there's that thing, we're at the London Olympics. It's still there. Here's a picture of Britons doing what we do best, queuing. We're in the queue for the food, traditional English food, it's Asian food. And there's the thing in the background. There's me at the games. Right, what's the point of this, Jeremy? Stop just showing us pictures. What's the point of this? So London 2012, this is the symbol for London 2012. When it came out, everyone hated it. They said, why is that? They said, oh, it's 2012. Oh, you can just about see it. I hated it. Because someone said to me, that this looks a bit like Lisa Simpson off The Simpsons. And if that's Lisa Simpson, who's that and what's she doing to him? Then they came out with this mascot for the games who's called Wenlock. Okay? What is that? That was the symbol of the London Games, Wenlock. Apparently that thing on his head is meant to look like the top of a London taxi. If I ever saw a taxi like that, I wouldn't get in it. It's called Wenlock because there's a village where they used to do sporting games a few hundred years ago. So lots of people didn't. I think a better mascot for the games would have been my dog, who actually doesn't look very real there, does he? But think about iconic images for your events. What would be the iconic image? Is there a symbol? Do you have a symbol, a badge or something? Or maybe it becomes a person. A big person at the London Games was Usain Bolt. I haven't got a picture of Usain Bolt, but I've got almost as good a picture of me being Usain Bolt outside. You know, he did that lightning flash thing outside the games. So think, what is the thing that would get you publicity? After the games, everyone wanted their picture taken with an Olympic medal. So again, at the football ground, he was one of the top rowers. She was the first lady ever to win a boxing gold medal at the games. And I worked on the Paralympics as well. This is the closing ceremony of the Paralympics. And it was brilliantly organised. And we had Coldplay playing the music. And the iconic moment of that was when they sang Paradise. Do you know the song Paradise by Coldplay? Paradise. It's the Paralympics. And they're saying para. And all of the journalists, the headline the next day was para. Nobody put that in a press release. It was subliminal. And it just summed up how brilliant the games had been. This is the commentary team on the athletics. And I'm also in that, but I took the picture. But because selfie sticks hadn't really been invented then, or they probably had in America, but we hadn't got them. This is me commentating at the IPC Athletics World Championships the next year, which is in Lyon in France. And it was a real heat wave, and it was so hot. I had one of these 500ml bottle of water every hour for an 8-hour session, and it was just ridiculous. And there was a catering company that knew there was a heat wave, and they brought cold food and drinks for all of the broadcasters. Guess who got loads of mentions on telly? The catering company, because they looked after the journos. So be nice to the media, and look, I look a bit tired there. Catering company came along. Oh, I'm right back in action. And also it's changed the colour of my shirt, so that's another thing to think about. So celebrities, are there any celebrities that you can get involved with your event? Here's Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. The only reason that's in is because it's the only picture of me with hair. It's not real. This is me with Howard Webb, the referee of the World Cup, the Football World Cup in 2010. You know, he's a great person. It's the only way an Englishman really gets into a football final now is if he's the referee. This is someone you won't know. I can't even remember her name, but she's in one of those TV crime programs. She's someone off the British version of The Apprentice. And this woman was trying to get competitive pole dancing in the Olympics. And I went to do a story with, and what a great picture. Not only is she hanging upside down, it looks like she's putting her hand inside my ear. Give the media something interesting to look at. So when this is a big rugby final I was doing at Twickenham, look at this fire going off, there's streamers, there's bits hanging down. People will take pictures of that stuff, make it special. This is Kew Gardens, the Royal Botanical Gardens at Kew, and that's a pumpkin display on Halloween. How beautiful is that? What are you doing at your events that make it lovely and visual? I did, as well as the Good Funeral Awards, I've also done the Ideal Death Show. And look, there was just a skeleton on a bicycle at a feature from the Association of Natural Burial Grounds. So you've got to do these things to get publicity for your events, because otherwise you're going to get empty seats. This was an event at Sun City in South Africa. Fortunately, I took that picture before anyone came in, and it was actually a roaring success, that event. Right, okay, what I'd like to do now is have a few questions, and then I will finish with a story, because I think stories are good. And I think you must never end a presentation with questions, because you never know how random it's going to be. Maybe there won't be any. Maybe people will be a bit mad, and you don't want to end like that. So have that and then finish on a big story. Who's got a question? Who's going to run with the microphone? Is there a microphone runner? No? Does anyone have a question? Put your hand up. Linda's going to be the runner. Okay, hands up if you have a question about attracting publicity for your business. Come on, please. No? Nobody? Yes, here we go. Guy here.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Mehmet for the rest. I just want to know about, I'm a little curious about the little team.
The little team, yeah.
Yeah, in England.
Yes.
That you don't care. They send you any press release after?
Did they follow up with press release? Yes.
Yeah, after.
They did. To be honest, they were a bit of a nuisance. Every week they used to send us stuff. I wish I hadn't told them. Yeah,
yeah,
no.
I was sure, but I want to hear about it.
They sent us quite a few, and I think we filmed with them again twice in that same year because they had interesting stories.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with journalists. You know, things that you might think are not interesting to you are interesting to other people because they don't see them all the time. Great question. Thank you very much. Yes, lady there. Linda.
Hello, my
Hello.
name is Linda, and I'm from Lisbon. Is there any such thing as a bad picture for the media? A negative press picture? What would you worry about not sending?
Well, if it was a health and fitness event and you were the spokesman and you had a fag, a cigarette, I think that would not be a very good idea. So you've got to leave your message. If it's a conference on being healthy and you're very, very overweight, that wouldn't be a very good idea. If it's a fashion event and you're not dressed very fashionably, so you are. If you're putting the picture out there, the picture has to be the message. Great question. Thank you very much. One more, and then we'll finish on a story. Yeah, did a hand go up over there? No, just scratching your head. That's fine. Yes, there we are. Last question from this man. Yes, sir.
Okay, that was a great presentation. Quick question on getting content to the media.
Yes.
If everyone's sending them content, they'll no doubt be under a deluge of, here's a great picture, here's a great picture. How do you help your pictures and stories get above the noise, if that makes sense?
It just has to be the best story. It just has to be a really interesting. It has to be unique, different. Okay, we play a game in the newsroom where you ring in and you say, I've got this event coming up, and I say, so what? And then you tell me something about your event, and I go, so what? And you say, this is about it, so what? And I keep saying, so what? Until eventually I go, oh, okay, that's a bit different. So run that test through your head, the so what test. It's like if a dog bites a man, that happens all the time. If a man bites a dog, that's a story, because that doesn't happen all the time. So run that so what test through your head.
That's a great idea.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, finishing story. One day I was at the BBC and I had a phone call, and it was to tell me that the face of Elvis Presley had been discovered on a piece of Stilton cheese. So Stilton cheese, do you know the Stilton cheese? It's the cheese with the blue veins in. Very smelly cheese with the blue veins. And in the blue veins, you could see the face of Elvis Presley. No, really, ladies, the face of Elvis Presley on a cheese. Now, the interesting thing was, it was 30 years to the week after Elvis Presley had died, and he had come back as a cheese. And it was on the local newspaper. Now, this is something you must do. Get your stuff in the local newspaper, in a local blog. Anyone can get in a local newspaper, local blog. Anyone, because they've got to fill it. And then what happens is the regional newspapers and TV and radio will get their stories from there, and the nationals will get them from there, and the internationals will follow. But it's dead easy to get it in at a local level. So the Melton Times, the cheese was in Melton Mowbray in Leicestershire in England. They had 3 pictures of this woman on the factory production line with a hairnet holding up a cheese with the face of Elvis Presley. So I rang up Long Clawson Dairy, which is one of only 5 places in the world that is allowed to make Stilton cheese. It's only allowed to be made in the counties of Leicestershire, Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire at 5 dairies. Long Clawson Dairy had the face of Elvis on the cheese. I rang them up and they said, we would love the BBC to come and film our cheese. The only thing is, we have now cut it up. And I said, why have you done that? And she said, well, you might very well ask. I'm not very happy about it. She was the head of PR. But the production manager said we had to cut it up because it was worth £70. That's about 150 Bulgarian levy, I think. So 150. And for that, they missed out on coverage because CNN were going to come and film it and they pulled out. Fox News were coming, they pulled out. CBS were coming, they pulled out. Don't you think that publicity would have been worth a bit more than 150 Bulgarian? ITV, the independent television company, pulled out. Sky News pulled out, the big satellite broadcaster. I thought that we would pull out as the BBC, but my editor said to me, why don't you go anyway? And I said, what, and film a cheese that's not there? He said, well, you've got a reputation of being able to turn these stories around. Why don't you go? So I set off to Leicestershire to film a cheese that was no longer there. And on the way, a researcher arranged for an Elvis Presley impersonator to meet me there. And he was a very fat Elvis from later in his life, the sort of Vegas years. And he walked around the factory floor, and I interviewed him about what Elvis would think about coming back as a cheese. And then I said, can I interview the woman who found the cheese, as we haven't got the cheese? And the PR person says, yes, you can, but I'm afraid she's not in today. She's on holiday. So I ended up interviewing the woman who stood next to the woman who found the cheese that had now been cut up. So it was the worst piece I've ever filmed for the BBC. It was me in a hairnet, there was a fat Elvis impersonator, there was no cheese, and there was the woman who stood next to the woman who found the cheese. And the only way that I made it funny and interesting was to put in lines like, when Elvis came back as a cheese, he didn't come back as a jailhouse Roquefort. He didn't say, I just want to be your camembert. No, he came back as a Stilton. And Stilton is the king of cheeses and Elvis is the king. And that piece went out once on the BBC News channel at 2 o'clock in the morning when nobody could see it. So my message to you today is, when you get your chance to be in the spotlight, to get on the media, don't cut your cheese up. This is me. That's my website. If you want to have a look at those 28 videos on how to be a better presenter, they're free. If anyone would like my cards, I'm going to put some down the front here because I'm a very shy person. I don't like talking to people. But if anyone wants one of my cards, they're there. I have been Jeremy Nicholas. Thank you very much, Sophia, for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. One more round of applause, Jeremy Nicholas. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. We've reached the end. So I'd like to just thank all the partners and sponsors. Give a round of applause for the partners and the sponsors, please. And I'm going to, well done. I just want to mention a few people that don't always get a mention, but they're the people who've really worked very hard to put this event on. I'm going to mention a list of them, and then we'll give them a big round of applause at the end. So there's the International Expo Centre where we are, the caterers, the sound technicians, Congress Engineering, have done a fantastic job. Let's give them a round of applause through the way. Streaming BG, who've been absolutely fantastic. Our interpreters, who have been magnificent. I hope they interpreted that. Well done. Thank you. And the people who've been looking after the audio equipment for you at the back. Well done them. And the team. Veronica, Simona, Eva, Silvana, and of course, Overnes. Now, well done. Yes, well done them. So we're off to an event tonight. So you've got the schedule. I've no idea what's going to happen, incidentally. I've no idea what's going to happen, but I'd have a bite to eat before you go, if I were you. Have some food before you go. There'll be all sorts of things going on. It'll be absolutely fantastic. So I hope you've had a fantastic time at Eventex 2015. I've certainly enjoyed it. I've been Alan Stevens, the media coach. And if you have been, thank you for listening, and I will see you at the event tonight.